And what if I told you that the Bible itself, yes, that very book many only dust off on Sundays, hides within it ancient codes of wealth, the kind that turned ordinary people into millionaires across generations? And more than that, that these principles may have always been right before your eyes, yet you've ignored them your entire life? Sounds mad, doesn't it? How could a spiritual book possibly contain the same secrets used by billionaires and visionary leaders of the modern world? But this is the truth very few are willing to say out loud. My name is Napoleon Hill. And today, I'm going to share with you the 4 most powerful biblical secrets about prosperity, truths that transformed the lives of some of the wealthiest individuals ever to walk this earth. And they might just transform your own life, if you're ready. Have you ever considered that your struggle with money might not actually be about money, but about what you believe about money? That your own mind may be sabotaging every step you take toward abundance, without you even noticing? Well, the Bible already pointed this out thousands of years ago, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 7, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." What does that mean, really? It means your outer world is nothing but a reflection of your inner state. This isn't exaggeration. It's literal. You attract what you think about most intensely, and what you believe in most deeply. When I studied the wealthiest people in the world, and I'm not talking about heirs or lottery winners, I mean self-made creators, pioneers, and visionaries, I noticed something they all had in common: a prosperity mindset ** before a single penny ever landed in their bank accounts. They saw themselves as rich well before they had anything to show for it. It wasn't arrogance. It was alignment between thought and action. Where most people wait for life to change before shifting their mindset, these individuals did the opposite. They changed their thinking first, and the world around them followed. Now think about this: how many times have you said things like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," "All rich people are crooks," or worse, "I'll never get out of this life"? You might not even notice, but every time you say these things, you're planting seeds of scarcity in your mind. And what does that grow? More debt. More frustration. More powerlessness. That's not coincidence. That's consequence. This is what I call mental programming. Because everything you hear, repeat, and believe goes straight to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious doesn't argue. It accepts. And acts on it. So, if deep down you believe money is evil or that becoming wealthy is impossible, you'll start to sabotage every opportunity that comes your way. You'll procrastinate. You'll doubt yourself. You'll turn down chances, and have no idea why. Your mind will pull you back to what feels safe. Even if that safe place is just the same painful cycle you've been stuck in for years. I remember a man I interviewed once. He was the son of a bricklayer, raised hearing things like, "Money only causes problems," and "If you've got too much, you must have done something wrong." As an adult, he became a talented professional, but he could never hold on to money. Every time he began to succeed, something went wrong. He lost clients, made bad decisions, invested poorly, and he'd always end up back at square one. One day, after attending one of my lectures, he realized the problem wasn't the economy, or his clients, or the system. It was his beliefs. He began to reprogram his mind. He replaced negative phrases with powerful affirmations. He wrote down on paper, "I am worthy of wealth. Money flows to me with purpose." And he repeated it every single day. Sounds too simple? Maybe. But that's what flipped the switch in his life. The Bible has always been clear about this. The power of words. The strength of thought. When you declare something with conviction and act as though it's already done, you begin to see doors that were invisible before. It's as if the entire universe begins to respond to you. If you doubt it, look around. People who constantly complain stay stuck. But those who maintain faith, even when things are hard, find solutions others can't see. It's not magic. It's focus. It's intention. It's mindset. So tell me, how many opportunities have you passed up out of fear? How many times have you sabotaged yourself because you believed, "That's not for me"? How many doors have you not even knocked on, simply because you thought you weren't worthy? Let me tell you this, you are worthy. But you need to start seeing yourself that way. There's no point waiting for the world to change if scarcity is still ruling inside your heart. That's why I'm going to give you something practical. A challenge. For the next 7 days, I want you to replace every negative thought or phrase about money with a positive affirmation. Every time you think, I can't do this, say, how can I make it happen? Every time fear creeps in, say, money flows to me with purpose and abundance. Do it consistently. Don't repeat it like a robot. Feel it. Absorb it. Live it. Because remember, as a man thinketh, so is he. And there's more, be mindful of what you feed your mind. Stop consuming content that promotes crisis, lack, and envy of the wealthy. Instead, fill your mental space with stories of resilience, books on financial growth, and content that expands your thinking. The Bible also says, he who walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools shall suffer harm. Choose who you surround yourself with. And that includes what you watch, what you listen to, and what you share. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Nurture it like a garden. Uproot the weeds, your limiting beliefs, and plant seeds of abundance, faith, and a future vision. Because when you change inside, everything outside begins to change too. And it all starts with one decision. So tell me, you going to keep thinking like you always have, or are you ready to think like someone who was born to prosper? Very few people understand this deeply, but your subconscious mind is the silent engine behind nearly every decision you make. And here's the wildest part, it doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's said with conviction. It accepts whatever you feed it frequently, and turns it into action. If you keep saying, it's too hard, life is tough, or, I'll never get out of debt, your subconscious will do everything it can to keep that truth alive, because that's what it's been programmed to believe. I discovered this not only through books, but by observing people who built wealth from absolutely nothing. Every single one of them had a vivid mental image of who they wanted to become. They saw themselves as successful long before they had anything to show for it. It was like they were living a reality that hadn't materialized yet. And the most extraordinary thing? That internal belief created external power. Opportunities appeared. Doors opened. Not because they were lucky, but because their minds were wired to notice those doors. While most people only see problems, they see chances. While many freeze in fear, they move with strategy. Why does it work like that? Because your subconscious is soil. And whatever you repeat becomes seed. Repeat lack, and you grow more lack. Say it's impossible, and you close every door before even trying. But if you tell yourself, again and again, that you're capable, that you will find a way, that money flows to you from both expected and unexpected sources, you plant a new frequency inside. And that frequency reshapes your posture, your choices, your results. I lived this firsthand. After years of studying the greats of the industry, I hit a collapse in my own life. Financial troubles. Family loss. Disappointment after disappointment. I was at my limit. I remember one night, I woke up in the dark with a tight chest, not knowing what to do. So I grabbed a piece of paper and wrote down 3 sentences. Everything contributes to my personal growth. I am constantly evolving. My mind is my greatest asset. At the time, I didn't exactly know how those words would help me. But I knew for sure that I could no longer feed thoughts that only dragged me down. I began repeating those affirmations every day. At first, it felt almost silly. But gradually, something started to change. My ideas began to flow again. I started to see possibilities I had previously overlooked. And most importantly, I regained the courage to take action. Science has already proven this. Research from the National Science Foundation shows that over 90% of our daily thoughts are repetitive. And more than 80% of those are negative. This means most people are stuck in a mental cycle of self-sabotage, without even realizing it. And do you know where this impacts most? in finances. Because money is highly emotional. It responds to what you feel. If you feel fear, you act out of scarcity. If you feel faith, you act with vision. And the difference between the two is huge. Just think, how many bad decisions have you made purely from emotional impulse? Purchases driven by anxiety, debts taken on for status, refusals motivated by insecurity. All of this has its root in your subconscious. And if you don't stop to reprogram this, you will keep sabotaging yourself. You will keep closing the doors to your own prosperity while pointing fingers at the government, the market, or bad luck. So how do you reprogram this? First, vigilance. Start noticing how you talk about money. Pay attention to the words you use. Whenever you say, "This is too expensive," or "I don't have money for this," reframe it. Say, "How can I create enough value to achieve this?" Sounds silly? Maybe. But small phrases change big destinies. Because the subconscious mind hears everything. Second, repetition. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 prosperity affirmations. Phrases like, "I am a magnet for financial opportunities," "My mind is prosperous and abundant," or "I attract money with wisdom." Read them out loud, morning and night, for at least 21 days. It's not magic. It's neuroscience. This is how new neural connections form. This is how new beliefs are established. And the third step, perhaps the most challenging, change your environment. The Bible already said, "Whoever walks with fools suffers harm." If you live surrounded by people who complain about life, speak badly of those who prosper, and reinforce that the world is unfair, your mind will absorb that as law. And even unintentionally, you will adapt to the frequency of that environment. Therefore, choose carefully the content you consume, the advice you listen to, the voices that feed your mind. Follow people who speak about the future, growth, and purpose. Read books that uplift you. Avoid the tide of mediocrity like you would avoid a trap. You can completely transform your financial reality. But only if you do it from the inside out. Because true wealth does not begin in the bank account. It begins in the mind. And the mind, when well nourished, is capable of creating any reality you dare to imagine. But this requires a daily commitment. A commitment to what you think. To what you say. And especially, to what you decide to believe. The question remains, what have you been planting in the most fertile ground there is, your mind? If you want to reap abundance, plant purpose. If you want to reap freedom, plant discipline. And if you want to reap prosperity, start right now speaking with faith, acting with strategy, and thinking like someone born to win. Because in the end, the law governing all this was written centuries ago, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. There is a powerful truth that many people still resist accepting: you reap exactly what you sow, especially, and mainly, when it comes to money. The Bible makes this clear in Luke chapter 6, verse 38, "Give, and it will be given to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap." Yet most people still live as if this principle were optional. They hold tightly to the little they have, are terrified of losing it, operate with a scarcity mindset, and in the end, block their own flow of prosperity. The truth is that wealth does not begin with accumulation, but with contribution. This might sound strange to those conditioned to live in survival mode. But I have seen it repeated so many times that today I have no doubt, those who give, grow. Those who share, expand. Those who solve real problems, prosper. In my years studying the world's richest people, I noticed a very clear pattern. They always started by giving something of value before expecting any return. They were people who created solutions, helped teams, invested in ideas, and offered more than expected. And the most incredible thing? They didn't do this for business strategy. They did it because they already lived with an abundance mindset. They knew that money is a consequence. The cause is the value you generate. Scarcity waits for reward before it moves. Abundance moves first, knowing the reward will always come. And it does come. It comes through unexpected paths, new people, opportunities that arise from nowhere. But only for those who are already in motion. I remember a businessman I met at the start of my journey. He had lost everything in a financial collapse. He was bankrupt. Instead of closing himself off, he did something that deeply impressed me. He started offering free lectures on financial education at public schools. He said he wanted to help the next generation avoid the same mistakes. At first, nobody paid attention. But after a few weeks, someone invited him to speak at a bigger event. At that event was an investor. Later, that investor became his partner in a new business. 2 years later, he had rebuilt his life. But with an even greater purpose. That was when I understood that giving is not losing. It is planting. And those who plant believe in the harvest. But let's be honest, how many times have you refused to help someone because you thought you didn't have enough even for yourself? How many times have you held back an idea, a piece of advice, or a kind gesture because you thought, and me? Who will help me? This is the scarcity trap. It convinces you that giving is diminishing yourself. But what really happens is the opposite. When you share, whether money, time, knowledge, or energy, you connect with a higher vibration. And that vibration attracts everything that resonates with it. The Bible is not exaggerating when it says what you give will come back to you in overflowing measure. And I have experienced this myself. I have seen ordinary people start by teaching a neighbor, helping a friend, supporting a cause, and years later, they were harvesting fruits they never imagined. Because the universe, God, life, call it what you want, rewards those who act with sincere generosity. Now understand this well, generosity is not giving everything and erasing yourself. It is not about handing out money randomly and expecting a miracle. Generosity is acting with intention. It is understanding that what you have, even if it seems little, may be exactly what someone else needs. And this act, when done with purpose, creates a cycle of prosperity. Sharing an insight, recommending a book, mentoring someone, donating a small percentage of your income, all of this counts. Because it is not about how much you give, but the energy with which you do it. It is about positioning yourself as a source, not a victim. And look at what is happening with the world's greatest fortunes today. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, all of them, at some point, began giving value back to the world before receiving recognition. Bezos built a delivery system focused on consumer convenience. Musk risked everything on clean energy. Buffett donates billions every year to educational causes. None of them started out trying to get rich. They started by solving real problems. And the reward came. Because that's how it works. You attract what you contribute. You prosper in proportion to the value you deliver. But if those names feel unreachable, think of a story closer to home. I remember an elderly lady who used to sell sweets outside a school. She could have simply limited herself to selling. But she did something different. She always gave an extra sweet to any student who said, please, and thank you. She educated with what she had. One day, a father noticed this. He owned a bakery. He invited her to work with him. Today, she manages a small chain of patisseries. It all started with a small gesture, but one full of value. That's the point. You can start today, right now. Want more money? Create more value. Want more opportunities? Help other people to prosper. Want more knowledge? Share what you already know. The harvest never fails. What fails is the consistency of the one who plants. Because many people do start, but give up when the return does not come quickly. Then they go back to complaining, blaming others, and living on autopilot. But the wise farmer understands, every seed needs time and discipline. If there is one thing I have learned from the Bible and from the millionaires I have interviewed, it is that luck does not build wealth. Consistency does. The world is governed by invisible laws. And one of them is relentless sowing. You do not reap what you wish for. You reap what you plant. And if you plant with faith, with action, with intention, the harvest comes. It always comes. So I ask you, what have you been giving to the world? Have you been creating value? Have you been sharing what you know? Have you been helping those who cross your path? Or have you just been waiting for something to fall from the sky? Remember, abundance does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who serve. To those who give. To those who plant, even when the ground seems dry. Because that is true faith, acting before seeing. And that is true wealth, living to multiply, not just to accumulate. The money you desire starts moving towards you from the moment you start moving towards value. The more you give, the more space you create to receive. And the more you contribute, the more life conspires to reward you. What separates dreamers from doers is not talent. Nor is it luck. What really separates them is action. Because it is no use knowing the principles of wealth, repeating powerful affirmations, consuming the best content, if at the end of the day you do not move. The truth is that the law of attraction does not work for those who only wish. It only responds to those who take action. The Bible already made this clear: though your beginning was small, your latter end shall greatly increase. This means it does not matter where you are now, but how much you are willing to act consistently, even without seeing immediate results. I have seen this happen so many times that it became impossible to ignore. Men and women who started small, often totally unknown, but who had a strength inside them more powerful than any obstacle: discipline. While many waited for the right moment, they simply started. While some froze out of fear, they acted strategically. They did not let circumstances control them. They controlled their own behavior. And here lies one of the biggest lies you can believe, that you need to feel motivated to act. This is not true. The great achievers of the world do not act when motivated. They act because they decided they must act. I myself wrote entire sections of Think and Grow Rich on days of discouragement, tiredness, and uncertainty. But discipline carried me to the last page. It was not enthusiasm. It was commitment. I remember a time when I was completely uninspired. My finances were tight, roughly £1,500 in the bank. Criticism came from every direction. But I had made a pact with myself, to finish that manuscript, no matter what. So I sat before the blank page and wrote what came to mind, even if it seemed weak. The next day, I rewrote it. Then again. And in the end, those pages changed millions of lives around the world. Perhaps yours too. All because I did not wait to feel ready. I just started. And that is what many people lack in life, to start. Many say they want to be entrepreneurs but never take the first step. They want to invest but never study. They want to change their lives but postpone everything until Monday. The problem is that Monday never arrives for those who live in their comfort zone. Life goes by. Years pass. And in the end, regret remains. But those who plant action harvest transformation. I often say procrastination is the silent killer of dreams. It does not shout. It does not appear suddenly. It erodes your strength day by day. It convinces you that tomorrow is better. That now is not the right moment. And when you realize it, your life has become a collection of unfulfilled promises. You know what is worse? You start losing confidence in yourself. Every time you say you will do something and do not do it, your mind notes, "I cannot trust myself." Over time, this weakens your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who begins but does not finish. And that is poison to your self-esteem. Therefore, keeping the promises you make to yourself is one of the greatest acts of prosperity there is. But then comes the question, how to create this rhythm of constant action. Start small. Huge goals scare the brain. But small goals, repeated every day, create a solid path. Dedicate just 1 hour a day to an important project. Read 10 pages of a book. Save the equivalent of £10 a week. Learn something new every day. It may seem little at first, but accumulated, it creates enormous results. Because discipline builds an invisible muscle, self-confidence. And once you believe in yourself, nothing can stop you. The biggest mistake I see is people waiting for full clarity before starting. But clarity comes from movement. Only when you act do the next steps become clear. Whoever waits for everything to make sense before acting will spend life waiting. And those who risk it, even scared, build their path while walking. That is why the millionaires I interviewed made decisions even amid uncertainty. They did not have all the answers, but they had a commitment to progress. And that commitment made the answers appear on the way. And there is more. Action is the greatest antidote to fear. Fear does not disappear by reading or motivation. It disappears when you move. Because movement changes your internal state. It takes you out of the victim role and puts you in control. Most people freeze because they want to feel brave before acting. But the truth is, you act first, and courage comes after. How many times have you delayed a decision because you were afraid to make a mistake? And then realized that if you had acted earlier, you would be much further ahead? Time will pass anyway. The difference is what you decide to do with it. And to finish, understand this once and for all, you don't need to be perfect, you only need to be consistent. Wealth does not come to those who always get it right, but to those who persist, and evolve. The greatest transformations in your life will happen along the way, not at the starting point. So, if you want to change your financial, emotional, or spiritual reality, stop waiting. Choose one small action you can take today. And do it. Then repeat tomorrow. And again. That is how you build a legacy. That is how you build wealth. Because the universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you demonstrate through your actions. And at the end of the day, your life will reflect not what you dream, but what you do. And look, the next video appearing on your screen will take you even further. It is another step on your ladder of wisdom, another chance to become 1% better than you are now. So don't waste time, click there and continue this journey with us. If this content helped you in any way, you can give back with a simple thank you that really strengthens the channel. And if you want to be part of our true community with priority access to videos and exclusive content, just subscribe and join the family. I'll see you in the next video. Let's evolve together.